What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is My House season 1, episode 10, and I hope it's gonna be a season 2. This is bittersweet because it is the season finale, but I really, really hope there's a season 2. And if there is a season 2, you know what I would like to see in season 2? I would like to see a trans man featured. We saw a few, and in this episode, we see Jelani with his friend Dre. They're boxing, and Dre is a trans man. I think that trans men are not. They're like the forgotten, because when you think of trans, when you hear trans, you automatically think of a man transitioning into a woman. How often do you think of a woman that is transitioning into a man? And we see the transformation that men make when they're transform trans y'all know what I'm saying, into a woman. But oh my gosh, the transformation, like when you see Dre, they talk about getting clocked as a woman. Oh my God, there's no way in hell I would ever think Dre was a woman, was born a woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if there's a season 2, that Viceland, whoever is listening, looking, whatever, that is my 2 cents. That let's feature a trans man. Okay. With that being said, this episode was the finale, and again, My House was a documentary, so we see Jelani. Again, he's into boxing, and he said this is, he got into boxing because, again, he was picked on, and kids tried to beat him up. He was clear to say nobody ever whooped his ass, but anyway, because he said, an effeminate man, and people, you know how they do. Oh, he's a sissy. Oh, he's a gay. Oh, he's, I'm sure, a million other words that they could call him. And that was his coping mechanism. That was what he did to deal with that. Then we see Tati. Miss Tati is hanging out with Davina, the other 007 that we've seen her with a few times this episode. I mean, this season, and they're just talking about joining the house. And Tati still hasn't made a decision about joining the house, and it sounds like she's definitely not going back to Montclair. She said they reached out to her, but she's just over it, and she doesn't feel like that's the direction she's going to go. She said that she just wants to be really, really, really sure about, because wherever she goes next, it's forever, it's for life. It's like she's marrying it, and so she just has not made a decision. Davina sounds like she might have figured out where she's going, maybe. Because she said something about a ball she was walking in, she was going to come out. If I was following the conversation correctly, that she was going to come out at that time with whoever her new house is going to be. But I think that Tati has been doing so well as a 007. I really would be surprised to see her join another house. I mean, I know there are a lot of elements that go into being in a house, but I would actually be surprised. I feel like she's happy being a 007. But again, don't know. We're going to come back to Tati. We see Alex. He is actually teaching a voguing class, and he's talking about his journey and from where he came from and how he ended up here, teaching a voguing class, and how he's dealing with his own mortality, so to speak. Not mortality like death, but just being older. And one of the girls in the class asked him, does he feel like he's past his prime? And he said, he deals with that. He actually fights with that because he is considered a legend in the ballroom scene. And so he deals with being older and has he passed his peak, that kind of thing. And, again, he talks about how much he, how he critiques himself so strongly and so forth. And so he talks about that, and why he works so hard, why he works a 9 to 5 so he can walk in balls and, be in this ball life. We see Miss Precious, and she went to a boutique because she wants to really get into embracing her feminine side a little bit more, being more feminine. And so she picked out some cute outfits, some really cute outfits. That my thumbnail is going to be one of the outfits that she had on. It was really cute. And y'all know I love me some Precious, and I feel the same way, boo. Like, as a big girl, sometimes you just get comfortable, but for me, for my personality, I've always been a tomboy, so it's work for me to dress up. Like, some people just love it, they dress up. I have friends and that's just how they roll, like every day, all day. That's how they come out the house. But me, it's work. So I feel where she coming from, but she wants to be a little more feminine and gravitate towards that a little bit more. I can see it. The big thing this episode was we see Tati and her mom actually having a conversation where they're talking about Tati growing up and her mother having to deal with Tati transitioning. And we saw in an early episode where she talked about how her mom didn't deal with it very well. She ended up leaving home and living with her brother, and that's when she really got into trouble and was taking hormones illegally and things of that nature. So you see where her mother is being really honest and raw and saying, look, I really struggled with this. Like, I struggled with seeing my son want to be a woman, and I didn't get it and I didn't understand. And she said, and I thought in the beginning, I thought that you were just mimicking me. Like, you saw me walking around the house sashaying, so that's what you did. She said, the first time when I saw you come out the shower with your towel around your chest, and I had to say, no, you don't, you're a boy, you wear your towel around the waist, you don't wear it up here. She said, I thought you were just mimicking me because there were no men in the house for you to mimic. And I thought that's what it was, which is what I've heard people say that, oh my gosh, I have a friend is a loose term. He's so damn ignorant. And that's what he talks about. There's so many gay men because there are not enough male figures in the house. And I'm like, really, dude? Really? That's what it is? You dumb fuck. Anyway, she talks about the first time she saw Tati get her nails done. Tati was like, yep, that was when I walked my first ball. Like, like they're seeing it from their own perspective, and it's so interesting. But you see where her mom is like, look, I see you now. She was like, I wanted a boy, and it was a hard thing for me to swallow. I didn't understand it. It was hard for me to understand. She said, but I see you now. And I thought that was so deep. She was like, I see you now. And I see you, and you're beautiful. And I just thought, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this was so good. So I feel like Tati got something she needed, because she was telling Precious later on in the episode that is really the first time that her and her mom were able to have, and her mom is beautiful, that her and her mom were able to have just that honest of a conversation. And so I know it took a lot, just like with Jelani's dad, to not only have the conversation, but to agree to have the conversation on camera. I know it took a lot for her mom to agree to have the conversation and have it on camera, because she talked about how she was embarrassed, and she talked about, she was honest. She was really, really honest, and that's all you can ask. Like, it happened, and that's how you felt, and all I can ask is that you are honest with me now. And she was honest, and that was the conversation. So I thought that was the best part of the episode, was Tati having this conversation with her mom and them really being able to be honest with each other about it. So Bittersweet is over, but I learned a lot. It's been great to see my house as compared to Pose, where you saw the ballroom scene in the 80s and you see what the ballroom scene is now. I really, oh gosh, I really needed to be a season 2. But y'all let me know what y'all think in those comments. Peace.